This is the plaintiff, Kay Lamonte Jones. He says he contracted with the defendant to appear as a singer in a show he was producing. Since the defendant was the featured artist, she was required to sell at least 50 tickets for the show. And a week before the show, she called and told him she was bowing out. He went to great expense spending money on a band, covering her ticket sales and bar drinks, and suing the wishy-washy lounge singer for the $5,000 he's out. This is the defendant, Amber. She says she's been a performer for 17 years, and she did originally agree to perform at the plaintiff's event. But as the show grew closer, she came to realize there'd be no record labels, no producers, so she changed her mind because it wasn't going to be a showcase for new talent as he promised. In fact, the guy then went on a rampage, disparaging her good name, and that is so uncool. She's accused of being off-key. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for slander.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant went south on him when she was supposed to perform at a show he was producing, and he lost a fortune. She's a singer and claims the show was a road to nowhere. It's the case of the road to Sing Sing.
I've been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Kay Lamonte Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing Amber. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name for $5,000 that you say you are out as a result of her bailing on a contract to perform with you. You are counterclaiming $5,000 for slander for him telling people about it. Tell me what happened.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to tell you, Gifted Soul is the name of the showcase. Okay. As a performer myself, of many years, I designed Gifted Soul for artists, by artists. I met Amber at a mutual friend's house, birthday party, and I heard her singing. And let me tell you, she is an amazing artist. And she had a really great personality, and we just kind of clicked. And I told her about the show and that what I do. Just to fast forward real quick, the show had, I had just completed my 5-year anniversary show that previous June, and I was planning my show for October. September 21st, I spoke with Amber, informed her, explained to her what the show was about. And she was excited about it. I said, but before that, there's some requirements and some obligations on your part.
And what were the specifications?
Each artist is required to bring a minimum of 50 persons to the top feature. There's 2 different levels. There's a top feature and a second tier. 50 people minimum per person, or 30 minimum.
Okay, now, did she sign something?
Yes, she did.
Can I see it?
Most certainly. But even prior to her signing that, that's her actual contract. I have an email because we were corresponding via email first.
So how many tickets was she supposed to sell?
She's only required to sell 50. She said she was going to sell excess of 100.
And the tickets are supposed to be sold for how much?
$20.
It's not 15?
No. The way that breaks down is for the artist. Each artist, as a part of the show, they keep 25% of the ticket sales to help offset their expenses. That's what the money is for. The tickets are $20.
Okay, so how long before the event do you realize there's a problem?
I called her on Friday morning, October the 12th, just to confirm that she'd be there. It's in Harlem, right where she lives. And I was calling her and she said, I would mean to call you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to gracefully bow out. And I said, sweetheart, there's nothing graceful about bowing out a week before the show. And she said, well, I got to pay $150 for a band rehearsal. She's beginning to give me all these excuses as if this was some first that she's just hearing.
What was she referring to, though? That there was some band rehearsal that she didn't know she had to pay for?
Initially, she was going to have her own band. Because she said, I'm in music. I'm real particular about my music. But
she did bring her own band. She ended up asking you to get the band.
Exactly.
And she knew, because it's in the contract, that she had to pay them $150 for rehearsal?
Correct.
It is your responsibility to make rehearsal payment directly to the musicians at the time of rehearsal, communicate with the music director, set up and arrange any and all issues. All right. So she tells you then, now it's 12 days before the event, and she tells you, yeah, I've been meaning to call you. And I'm gracefully bowing out. Yeah,
well, and also that's 12 days before the event, but 3-4 days prior to her, according to the contract, that she was supposed to pay the balance of her money. and our production meeting. So the whole show, like that Tuesday, was our pre-show production where the whole show, all the artists come together, walk through the venue and everything. So it's pretty much like the dress rehearsal where the show is already set.
So what do you think happened? She just couldn't sell the tickets? She had a little bit inflated opinion of her ability to sell tickets?
I think that possibly could have happened.
What happened?
Yes, ma'am. Just starting back from the beginning, I did meet him at a mutual friend's birthday party. He said, I want to feature you on my show. So I was like, wonderful, that will be good. A feature means that you take care of everything. And he said, okay, there's a contract. You have to sell tickets at $20 a piece. This is not designed for you to make money. And I said, well, I do not have a problem with selling tickets, which I did not. But as I begin to do my research about him, he had a reputation of luring people there as he tried to do me, telling me particular people were going to be in the band. I was targeted by being told that Freddie Jackson and Johnny Kemp would be a part of it. And then I ironically see Freddie Jackson on the streets of Harlem, and I speak to him about it, and he ironically calls Freddie Jackson's phone as we're standing there. And so Freddie Jackson says to him, well, what's this I hear about I'm supposed to be performing? If I'm performing, it's $2,500 up front. And so after that conversation ended with he and Freddie, he immediately calls me. If I tell you something, you don't go out talking to nobody about what I told you. I'm like, but these are the pretenses that you brought me in under.
I understand, but your contract doesn't say Freddie Jackson's going to be a part of it. Your contract says you're going to do X and he's going to do Y.
Absolutely.
Right. And then the rest of us mere mortals, when we sign a contract, we have to abide by it. Why are you different?
Well, it's not just that.
And had you sold your tickets? Had you actually sold your tickets?
Yes, ma'am. And he sold the
how many tickets did you sell?
I sold a total of like 30.
And then, so 30 tickets at $20, that's $600. Where did the $600 go?
I refunded everybody their money back. Once he called me the morning that I was going to call him, because the night of the 11th, I received an email of a new flyer stating that I was now opening for Freddie Jackson. I said, that's not in my contract.
Who's Freddie Jackson?
The plaintiff says the defendant had a flaky change of heart when she backed out of singing at his concert. But she says he had a questionable reputation, and that's why she bailed. Let's listen.
Freddie Jackson is an amazing artist.
Did he end up playing at the showcase?
No, Freddie was not going to be even singing at the showcase. Freddie was being honored as a Living Legend Award.
Oh, but it says featuring surprise guest tribute performance.
Tribute performance, which were other celebrities that were not being listed. But
you have his picture on the thing.
That was revised. That was an email, and then I have the email. First of all, can I just say this, Judge?
No, I just want to know about the one thing she's complaining about, which is that there's a flyer that she receives. It says Living Legend Award presented to special guest Freddie Jackson, featuring surprise guest tribute performance.
Correct.
Right, but like the whole idea is it looks like he's going to be there, and then it turns out he's not even going to be there.
Excuse me, may I finish, please?
No.
Initially, Freddie was going to be there. Freddie Jackson had agreed to be a part of, to receive the Living Legend Award recipient. Unfortunately, what happened, he was not able, his schedule changed. In my email, it said, Freddie Jackson nor Johnny Kemp has confirmed their participation, and she was very well aware. She's
what
like,
is this?
And then that came out after that.
That email went out on the 8th. So
I'm just curious because I want to understand, you know, I mean, look, sometimes in these situations, what happens is that in an effort to get everybody pumped and excited, everybody tells everybody else about everybody who's being invited, because that's how you promote stuff. I mean, that's how it's done. And then like the first question I always ask is, has so-and-so confirmed? All that has really nothing to do with my lawsuit, because I am looking at one thing. You signed a contract and you bailed on the contract, and I got to figure out damages. But what I don't understand is, why don't you just do it? Everything's already in process. If you're not lying and you sold 30 tickets, all you got to do is sell another 20. You have 12 more days to do it. Why wouldn't you why doesn't it matter to you how you look?
Because I became uninterested. Once I spoke with the band director, the MD, he dictated to me that Kayla Monte had dictated to him how much I was supposed to pay for the rehearsal. And I said, okay. So I asked, within that $150, how many rehearsals do I get? Because we're rehearsing a week and a half before the show. I'm doing covers as well as original music. There is no other rehearsals. I asked him the day of the show, show, will there be a run through of the show to go through our music again? And he said no. And I'm like, I've been in showcases before where, number one, I have not had to pay $850 up front to perform.
But you knew that the day you signed the contract. What changed?
That just from me.
Yeah, I know. You just didn't feel like it anymore. But you know what? That's not an appropriate defense in court. What did you think was going to happen today? Right? All right. There's two parts to every lawsuit. The first one is liability.
Yes.
Did you do them wrong? And the second one are damages. How wrong did you do them?
Right.
Okay. What do you believe is the appropriate answer to did you do them wrong? Did you breach this contract?
Absolutely, I did.
Okay, so that part's out of the way. Now let's talk about his loss as a result thereof. Look at me and tell me, what is your loss?
So is it harder for a singer to make his or her mark without being on a talent show, given that shows like American Idol and all these others, they just keep producing star after star after star? Is it harder now with them?
It seems to be like it's harder because the shows are what makes people watch and brings all the celebrities up.
It seems to be the route people take now to become a star. What do you think?
Yes, I think it's harder. Most artists go through Hollywood. Makes it much easier.
What do you think?
It's harder. The stars have like now contracts, so it's harder.
I kind of think so too. Going inside the courtroom.
You have a lawsuit where you're asking for $1,000, but you're suing for the 1,000 twice in your lawsuit. That's what I don't get.
Well, it's two different parts of that because.
Did the ticket include 2 drinks?
No.
Oh, then the people who were supposed to be there are supposed to have 2 drinks.
And I'll explain. This is one of the reasons.
Purchase 2 drinks.
Purchase 2 drinks, yeah.
Exactly.
And you make all the bar.
That's for the venue.
Right,
the
but then how are you out that money?
Because when I don't make my bar guarantee, I had to pay it out of my pocket.
Show me the proof of what you paid the place.
This is the contract for the bar itself. And that's a statement. And these are my bank statements. I had to pay it in 3 different forms, 2 different credit cards and cash.
How many performers did you have? How many top tier, how many middle tier performers did you have?
I had 1 top tier and the 2 middle tier.
So Capone, Gaetano, and Carla and Joy each of them were guaranteeing how many tickets?
Well, Capone is a special guest. He's a celebrity comedian that only came in to do like 5 minutes comedian. And
Gaetano?
So Gaetano and Carla only 30. They're second tier.
Okay, and then Joy?
Joy's 50.
Okay.
And then Amber was the 50.
So you're saying that you're out the $1,000 in the bar drinks.
Correct.
You're saying that you're out you're saying 1,000, but I'm saying it's $750 on the tickets.
So
and then the $300 in band rehearsals because as a result of her bailing, you had to bring 2 other people in. Do you have proof of having paid the $300 for the band rehearsals?
Well, the music director.
Come on up.
Yep. Right up to the mic, please.
And this is the other replacement artist.
I know you've been itching to speak. My question to you is, were you paid $300 in order to audition with the 2 other people?
Then I had to
Oh, these are the 2 fill-ins?
That's
no, one of them.
One of the 2 fill-ins.
And I have the affidavit for the other.
Okay. Come on up.
You guys switch.
And how many days before the event were you contacted?
Probably, I'd say 4 days.
Okay. That's all you got? Wow. Did you have to sell tickets?
No. One of the reasons why, because I wasn't featured on the actual flyer.
Did you get paid? No, right? You're not. Okay. Let me ask you a question. You have a counterclaim against him for $5,000 for slander. Tell me about that.
Yes, ma'am. After telling him that I wasn't going to do the show, on the 22nd, he sent out a mass email to several people, and it highlights my name in red and says canceled at the last minute.
So, but where is that slander? What's the slander?
That you sent this out, a mass email to all of these people saying that I canceled at the last minute. 2 weeks is not the last minute.
Your basis of your slander lawsuit is that you don't consider breaching 12 days before an event last minute. You think that's plenty of time and graceful.
Well, you
gotta get off that high horse because you are 100% dead wrong and you are shameless to boot. Let me see that email you sent out because actually you think that this should make him look bad and owe you $5,000. And I think it actually makes you look great. You're actually telling people that she's not showing up rather than people being surprised.
That's exactly why I did it. Her name was on the tickets. I mean, because everybody's going to be looking, where's this Amber? So I'm letting them know that Amber's not going to be there.
Exactly.
But the day before I called him, he sent out new flyers saying that Freddie Jackson was going to be a part.
Stop.
Why couldn't Amber,
listen up, honey. It cost him two things for it cost him three things for sure. It cost him the $750 that you were supposed to give him in ticket sales. It cost him the 2-drink minimum that I see the affidavit from the bar owner saying that he fell short of it. Okay. And it cost him what he ended up having to pay in rehearsal fees to get 2 people to fill in at the last minute because he didn't have the person who he'd said was going to be singing up there. You don't get pain and suffering in a case like this. He didn't call you a thief and a scoundrel and something else. He sent an email to everybody letting them know that you wouldn't be there because you canceled at the last minute, which is absolutely, positively true. Okay? So I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $1,000 bar tab, the $750 plus the $300 in band fees for $2,050 on your counterclaim, 0. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the plaintiff has collected. Oh, Amber, where did it all go wrong?
When I signed that contract with him, that's where it all went wrong. And I chose not to perform. And I did not perform.
No, you didn't, but you're paying for it. I don't know if your reputation suffered at all, but you certainly suffered in the courtroom.
It's fine. I'll bounce back. I'm not worried. I have a right to pull out, and that's what I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, good luck.
There you go.
Look this way. All right, come on in here, sir. Stand right next to me here. Tell me what's your reaction to the outcome here.
Amber alert, Amber alert. I mean, really, honestly, I can't believe she's sitting up there lying like now, you know. And like I said, I knew she had sold the tickets and she just pocketed the money because she was low on rent or whatever. I'm not sure, but I wish her the best.
All right. How was the show?
It was an amazing show, of course. I mean, one of the best band directors ever. And
good promos for you here.
5 more years, 5 more years.
Harvey?
Thank you.
Okay, you know what? The lesson here, you are absolutely positively allowed to breach a contract as long as you're willing to pay the damages, but the damages have to be reasonable. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.